Oke, halo, selamat siang, Bapak-bapak. Mungkin ada Ibu juga. Jadi selamat siang, Bapak Ibu.
Ya, Pak Franky.
Iya, selamat siang. Semangat, Pak. Semoga sehat selalu.
Amin.
Okay, thank you for joining our event. So we will do this event, Sapiens Consulting. Ya, mungkin saya akan open dengan dua bahasa. Oke, saya rasa kita sudah berkumpul di event ini. Terima kasih, selamat siang semuanya. Mungkin rekan-rekan di sini mau tahu tentang bagaimana sih sebenarnya implementasi ATIL dan kendala-kendalanya. Jadi hari ini event merupakan gabungan antara kami, Trainokit Indonesia. Jadi mungkin beberapa rekan di sini sudah pernah kenal atau mungkin beberapa sudah pernah join kelas dengan kami. Dan kita di sini bersama dengan Sapiens Consulting. Jadi kalau mungkin rekan-rekan yang belum tahu, Sapiens Consulting itu adalah mereka adalah consulting company yang berada di holdingnya di Singapura, dan mereka melakukan services untuk mereka melakukan konsultansi, training, dan they do services in IT, service management, governance, risk, compliance, dan security. And also, I would like to know that ATIL certification from Axelos. So I think Bapak-bapak dan Ibu-ibu sudah tahu. And Sapien is authorized training provider for Axelos. So for this event, the event will be delivered and moderated by us and Faisal, Mr. Faisal. Mr. Faisal is he has experience in deliver in IT governance and DevOps, and he is also a TIL version 3 expert and a TIL managing professional and strategic leader. And he also has experience in some global global customer, and then they do the consultation within Asia. So what is related with Trainokit? We are the partner. Jadi kami dengan Sapiens adalah partner. Jadi pada saat untuk hari ini kita akan deliver tentang, kita akan diskusi mengenai ATIL. Oke, mungkin sebelumnya rekan-rekan teman-teman diminta untuk register dan memberikan beberapa pertanyaan ya. Mungkin di sini saya mau share. Oke, mungkin udah kelihatan? Sudah kelihatan ya? Sudah kelihatan Pak, Bu?
Saya udah.
Udah ya. Jadi di sini kita udah kumpulkan di sini sekitar 80 lebih yang register dan mungkin sekitar 80 questions. Okay. And it's too many questions, but we try to summarize it to some maybe one and another question has relation and could be can be explained one each other. So we try to summarize it. So I hope Bapak Ibu nanti pada saat nanti penjelasan paham bahwa ada korelasinya dengan pertanyaan Bapak Ibu. And then this I think Mr. Faisal will be delivery in English. I hope this will be okay ya Pak Bu. Yeah, of course. I think Faisal will try to explain in slowly and clearly. Yeah. So I think can start this event, and I will give the time to Mr. Faisal. And I hope Bapak Ibu juga bisa aktif ya untuk bisa ngobrol di sini. So, Mr. Faisal, we can start this one. So,
Thank
but
you,
before we
Frankie.
start, we will have a questions. Anyone in here who has implement RTIL in the company? Mungkin kita akan vote. Mungkin Bu Sultana bisa dibantu. Oke, nanti bantu diklik ya, di vote. Apakah Bapak Ibu sudah implementasi RTIL di company Bapak Ibu? Oke, silakan di vote dulu. Oke, the second question is, apakah Bapak Ibu sudah pernah certified RTIL? So, anyone has certified in RTIL already? Sultana can put. Oke, sambil menunggu di vote. Oke. Oke, so I will give the time to Mr. Faisal to start this event, and we will go. We will go the question one by one with the that we have summarized. Okay. Welcome, Pak Faisal. Use the same button.
Good afternoon, selamat siang semua. Terima kasih karena mengundang saya untuk event ini ya. Pak Frankie, what is the result of the poll? Bagaimana ya resultnya?
Sultana, can you give the preview?
Ini suspense ya.
Oke, tunggu sebentar ya.
Yeah. But while waiting, sementara kita menunggu ya, saya ada satu pertanyaan kepada Pak Frankie. Bagaimana baju batik saya? Okey.
Cakep.
Okay. So while waiting for the result, thank you everyone for joining in this afternoon. Terima kasih ya. Delivery-nya dalam bahasa Inggeris. Saya akan cuba menggunakan bahasa Indonesia ya sebanyak mungkin. Tetapi kemahiran dan penguasaan bahasa Indonesia saya ya kurang memuaskan ya. Tapi saya akan cuba ya. Maklumlah ya, saya kurang praktis ya. Sudah lama sekali saya tidak ke Indonesia ya untuk praktis ya. Rindu ya, Jakarta rindu.
Yes, I miss you.
Yeah. So thank you very much. I will wait for the results that is being of the poll, and then my intention ya, tujuan saya adalah untuk memberi jawapan kepada pertanyaan-pertanyaan yang diutarakan ya, yang dibentangkan, dan satu demi satu ya. Mungkin pertanyaan kamu akan dijawab di dahulu, mungkin dikemudiankan ya. But we will see, we will adjust. Insyaallah your queries will be answered. Tetapi I think there's something like 80 ya, 80 pertanyaannya.
80 ya, kurang lebih. More and less.
Ini bisa sampai ke hari
midnight.
Bukan midnight ya, mungkin hari Sabtu ya. It will be a problem. So we will select some of the questions, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I think you can show the vote result.
Oh yes, I can see. Can you show number 1? Okay. Apakah Anda sudah pernah mengimplementasi ITIL dalam bisnis Anda? Setengah-setengah ya. 50% sudah, 5% belum. Ini I do not believe. Saya tidak percaya ya. Karena modern IT harus ada mekanisme ya untuk handle seperti insiden ya, untuk handle seperti root cause analysis. Kamu mengimplementasi ITIL, tetapi mungkin kematangannya ya, the maturity is very low. Mungkin bukan proses-proses yang formal ya, di dokumentasi ya. Mungkin prosesnya di dalam fikirannya, di dalam otaknya. Ini praktisnya ya, dan semua orang fikiran yang sama tapi tidak didokumentasinya ya. Ya, ITIL diimplementasi tapi tidak secara formal, tidak secara official ya. Impossible, mustahil. Saya tidak percaya kalau tidak ada sistem langsung ya untuk menangani isu-isu di dalam modern IT ya. Itu pertama. Kedua, sharing poll results. Nombor 2.
So it's also possible if they don't aware that have implement exactly.
Yes,
Yeah.
you are implementing something because it's logic, but you are not aware that it is ITIL.
Yeah.
But it has all the fitur-fiturnya ya, all the features, all the aktivitas, all the activity is ITIL activity. But you tidak recognize ya, tidak recognize that it's ITIL. Okay. Apakah anda sudah memiliki sertifikasi ITIL 60% belum? Itu harus diperbaiki pada pendapat saya ya. Kerana knowledge is power. The more you understand something, the easier it is to implementasinya dengan asuransi kejayaan. You will succeed. You have a better chance of success if you know what you're doing. Right? If you understand the importance of the activity and what you want to achieve. Okay? So very good poll. I think there's a lot of room for you to pursue ya, untuk mencapai sertifikasi official ITIL sebagai ya, as a mark that you understand ITIL and you are able to contribute ya, sumbangan ya kepada IT practice yang lebih matang, yang lebih baik. Ya. Okay, so let us move to some of the questions that has been asked of me.
Yeah. So I think we can start with the basic questions that wait. Okay.
By the way,
So-
bapak-bapak dan ibu-ibu, kalau bila saya sedang memberi pendapat saya ya, if you have any question, kalau ada pertanyaan saja ya, gunakan chat ya, atau gunakan Q&A, atau kalau kamu mau just unmute yourself dan tujukan pertanyaannya kepada saya ya, no problem ya. This is a very relaxed environment, so it's
Ya.
okay, you can ask ya. Okay, Pak Frankie,
Jadi
sorry.
anggap kita lagi ngobrol aja, Pak, Bu.
Cuma tidak ada kopi dan tehnya ya, tapi okay.
Iya. Kopi bikin sendiri. Make by
Carry on.
own. So this is the basic question that I think we have. So how to understand RTR concept for beginners?
For beginners, not for
Yeah,
dummies.
so I think they some of them need to know what is exactly RTR is and what
Okay.
for.
Yeah. Okay, so there are 3 terminology that you need to understand and understand very well. Terminologinya ada kaitan ya. There are relationship between the 3 terminology, but they are different. The first is ITSM. Kedua, ITIL. Dan ketiga, ISO 20,000. ISO 20,000. 20K ya. Ini 3 ya. Pertama, ITSM. Apa itu ITSM? ITSM is a philosophy and approach. General philosophy, general approach. Falsafah dan pendekatan ya untuk mengimplementasi dan mengelolakan layanan IT yang terbaik untuk perusahaannya. That is a philosophy. The implementation and the management of quality IT service that meet business needs. ITSM is a philosophy for business alignment. Okay, business alignment. IT dan business harus apa? Selajur ya. Same direction. Ya, one direction. Tujuannya sama, ya. Dan ITSM guarantees or give assurance that what IT is doing is exactly what business need. Not more, not less. If you deliver more, lebih ya, daripada yang business butuhi, no good. It is not good. Over deliver is no good. Because it means that you are too costly, too expensive. There is opportunity for you to reduce, to save costs for your business. If you don't deliver at the right level, also no good. Because it means that your business tidak dapat mencapai ya objektifnya. Ya. So you must exactly meet. Okay. It is a philosophy, itu ITSM ya. Apa itu ITIL? ITIL. ITIL adalah framework, satu cara untuk mencapai ITSM. It is a framework to deliver ITSM. There are other framework seperti Verism, seperti Microsoft Operations Framework, seperti Project Management Framework, ya, seperti Security Framework yang memberi sumbangan kepada ITSM. Ya, all of them contribute. Is it correct word sumbangan? Correct
Yes.
word ya? Ya. Untuk ITSM. Tetapi ITIL is the de facto framework. Frameworknya amat popular sekali kerana ia complete, holistic secara keseluruhannya. Ya. So much so, sometimes ITIL dan ITSM disebutkan sebagai sama, tapi tidak sama ya. ITIL ada frameworknya dan ITSM adalah tujuannya. What you want to achieve. Okay. Sama seperti di Indonesia ya. Di Indonesia kalau saya ke restorannya ya, mungkin saya mau minum air ya. Minum air, tapi apa yang di order? Aqua ya. Aqua adalah jenamanya, brandingnya ya. Betul? Aqua ada brandingnya. Aqua is confused with water. Aqua the brand is confused with water. Seperti mungkin saya mau apa ya? It's so popular that the word become interchangeable. Interchangeable. Ya. But it is different, berbeda ya, berbeda. Dan ketiga adalah ISO 20.000, ISO 20,000. ISO 20,000 adalah international standard for ITSM. Standard ya untuk ITSM. Di dalam ISO 20,000 ada banyak requirement-nya ya, syarat-syarat yang harus dipenuhi. Kalau syaratnya tidak dipenuhi, kamu tidak dapat mencapai ISO 20,000 standard. Setiap requirement mungkin ada seperti berapa? 180 ke 200 requirement yang harus dipenuhi ya. You must fulfill the requirements. If you don't fulfill requirements, you do not get the ISO 20,000 certificate. The requirements must be achieved. If they are not, no good. In ITIL, they give you things that you should do. If you don't do, it's okay. It's your choice. Pilihan kamu. It's your choice. Depending on your business objective. Ya. ISO 20,000 adalah syarat-syaratnya. ITIL framework memberi panduan bagaimana boleh mencapai requirement-nya. The ISO 20,000 is the what. ITIL is the how. ITSM is the why. Itu secara mudah ya, kalau kita fikirkan begitu ya. Is the what, the how, and the why.
Okay.
Okay.
So ITIL can support ISO to 20K.
ITIL can support, yes, of course.
To achieve.
Absolutely. ISO 20K titik permulaannya ya berdasarkan ITIL version 2 ya. Itu historinya ya. Ya, berdasarkan ITIL version 2. Tapi ITIL version 2 sudah evolusi ya ke ITIL V3 dan ITIL 4. ISO 20000 pun ada evolusinya ya. Tiap 5 tahun diperbaharui, is updated, dikemas kininya ya, update-nya ya. Dan disimak ya. Dan the latest is ISO 20000 2018. Okay. Ada pertanyaan dari Pak Rahman ya. Apa yang harus diperhatikan pertama kali untuk implementasi ITIL, terutama di startup company? I will answer that in a short while. Okay, this is one of the question. Itu adalah salah satu pertanyaan yang akan datang ya. Okay, so
ada Pak jawab, ada. Pertanyaannya udah kita rangkum.
Harap bersabar ya. Okay. It will be answered. Okay. Then what is the benefit of ITIL? ITIL. What's the benefit of ITIL? The benefit of ITIL is achieving business objective. IT adalah one of the component of the business. Sama seperti HR, sama seperti marketing ya, pemasaran, sama seperti sales ya. All are part of the business dan semua harus bergabung tenaga untuk mencapai objektif perusahaannya, strategic objektif, keuntungannya ya, profit, organization mission ya, seperti itu ya missionnya ya. So the benefit of ITIL is you have better business alignment to achieve business objective. You deliver exactly what business need at the cost that business is prepared to pay. Okay. You have better relationship with the business. You manage costs, you manage risk, you manage outcome. Ya, the business benefit from using layanan IT-nya, menggunakan layanan IT-nya, tiga-tiga ini ya. Itu seperti di balance ya, cost, risk dan benefitnya ya, harus diimbangkan ya. That is the main. But now ya, because of ITIL4 there is one special ingredient, and that ingredient is speed. Now we need to work fast result, fast developmentnya ya, fast. Semuanya faster. Cost, risk, quality, the benefit, semua tetap ada ya. Tapi one additional ingredient ya, satu lagi ya, and that's speed, time. And this is what ITIL4 memberi. Ya, ITIL V3 adalah ITIL yang versionnya ya, version nama yang dikeluarkan jam 2007 ya, 2007. 2007 the world is different. Dunianya berbeda. Different world. Right? If you are using the framework of 2007 in now, I don't think your company will be happy or your company will be achieving the result. If you use a TV from 2007 and you watch now, you're not going to be happy because the televisionnya ya, do not have all the features and the, it's not modern, it's not sesuai ya kepada dunia sekarang. It's not, it's different. The world now is very, very different. We are talking about artificial intelligence, machine learning, quantum computing, edge computing, robotics, process automation. Yeah, a lot of things are being used in teknologi yang diterapkan di dalam bisnes. Ya, IT and the business become very seperti sudah menjadi satu ya. And that is what you call digital transformation. Dan ITIL4 helps you to achieve the goal and objective of digital transformation by including many different concept part of it. Okay, konsep seperti agile methodologies, konsep seperti artificial intelligence and machine learning, konsep seperti Scrum dan DevOps ya, semua diterapkan di dalam ITIL4. By the way, there is a mistake in the slide and I leave the mistake there. Okay, I leave the mistake there. And the mistake is, the reason why I leave the mistake there is because I want to talk about it. Okay, it says there ITIL V3 versus ITIL V4. And that is not right. It is ITIL V3 and ITIL 4. Not V4 ya. Bukan version ya.
Okay.
Namanya ITIL 4, not version 4. Now, why is it called ITIL 4? Pernahkah kamu dengar ini? Revolusi Industri 4.0. Pernah dengar?
Yep.
Ya? Industrial Revolution 4.0 is what will change business. This is the digital transformation age. Okay. Dan ITIL4 is ITIL4 kerana ia mendukung IR4, Industrial Revolution 4. So it's not version 4, it's just ITIL4. Yeah. Okay. So I've spoken about what is ITIL, what is the benefit of ITIL, what is V3 versus 4, and kaitan ya antara ITSM, ITIL, ISO dan Agile. For now, ada pertanyaan? Ada yang kurang jelas?
Ada yang mau bertanya? So it means ITIL support the business, right? Is it also, may I say, ITIL also support the other department of IT, like SR, or marketing or sales, something like that?
They are all part of business.
Okay.
Okay, HR, marketing, itunya even IT is also part of business ya. Tapi you are also part of, you are a business person, right? But you just happen to work with technology. Ya, responsibility-nya ya is managing information and technology. HR responsibility-nya managing people and workforce and kebutuhan mereka ya, employee. Pemasaran, marketing, mereka ada responsibility, tapi all of them are part of business. We are one. Yeah, we are all part of the same business. If IT fail, kalau gagal ya, IT fail, the business will fail. If sales fail, the business will fail. Everybody contribute ya to the business.
Okay. Ada yang mau bertanya Pak? Ibu?
Pak, I say this, satu lagi perkara ya. Mungkin perusahaannya very dependent ya, bersandarkan IT. Karena kalau mereka, you are very dependent on IT, then IT is a critical success factor. If IT fail, business fail. But there are some company that IT is less important. Right? Maybe they just use IT for email or for sending bill only. Right? Then if IT fail, the impact is not so big. But if your company wants to become future ready, wants to become, a modern company, it is very, very difficult not to use IT. Because IT becomes an important part of your business and how you change your business operating model. Ya, oke, sorry.
Oke. Gimana Bapak Ibu? Ada pertanyaan?
Saya mau nanya Pak Frankie.
Oke.
Ya,
Ya, silakan.
saya tertarik untuk kata-kata maturity ya, maturity. Nah tadi kan dari kuesioner itu hampir 50% itu udah melaksanakan, 50% belum mengimplementasikan.
Ya.
Nah, yang saya mau nanya terkait maturity itu apakah ada kaitan dengan jenis industri, seperti misalnya implementasi di militer, implementasi di perbankan, implementasi di manufaktur atau non manufaktur, karena mungkin untuk objektifnya mungkin itu agak berbeda gitu ya, mungkin unsur security-nya dan sebagainya gitu. Jadi yang saya mau tanya itu aja, maturity terkaitan dengan jenis industri. Makasih Pak.
Okay. I think this question could be related with the next questions. Wait. Yes, this one.
Yeah. So
is it related?
Somewhat, but my understanding of the question is a little different. I think I'm not sure who asked the question, but I think he asked whether how much ITIL implementation is dependent on the industry. Is it ITIL mostly implement in some industry and less in other industry? Right? I think that's the question. Must it be more mature in some industries and less mature in other industries? Now, I don't know, I don't have statistic, whether ITIL is implemented in all militaries or in some militaries or in some parts of militaries, right? But I think the most important thing is why? Why are you doing it? So, I have seen some organizations when they say that I do not want to implement ITSM. All I'm interested in is risk management or security management, right? Like if you look at industri perbankan, banks, if you look at Bank Indonesia, they do not have a guideline, panduan for service management, but they have a panduan for risk management. Because that is the main concern of that industry, right? Risk management. But if you look at the detail of risk management, the details of what is in risk management and what you must do, let me tell you what it has, It says you want to manage risk, you must manage technology, old technology and renew. You must manage incident. You must manage business kesinambungan, perusahaannya, business continuity dan service continuity. You must manage capacity, right? It's called a risk management framework. Tetapi di dalam, if you look inside it, it's actually a lot of it is covered under service management. It's covered under service management. So a lot of items that are covered in there is actually related to service management. Maybe not of all of ITIL, maybe 5 to 7 process and practice from ITIL, right? But there is, because risk is a concern of ITIL. Okay, so this is an important point that I want to make. when you implement ITSM using the ITIL framework, bila diimplementasikannya ya, there is no requirement, tidak ada kebutuhan untuk implement kesemuanya. No requirement. Fikirannya harus seperti buffet ya. Kalau kamu ke buffet ya, there is no need to eat everything. Tidak semestinya, tidak, no requirement. Tidak, bukan ada persyaratan ya, semua harus ya, harus harus dimakan ya. If you think this is nice and more important, take it. If you think this is not important, don't take it. So ITIL give you everything. Praktisnya 30 lebih ya, 34 praktis ya kesemuanya. Dan apa yang praktis-praktis yang lebih important apa penting ya? Yang lebih important penting ya kepada perusahaannya itu yang diimplementasi. You implement what is required. You don't need to implement everything. So even in military, even in pharmaceutical or oil and gas, if you think that security is a concern, kerana mungkin you are using banyak IoT ya, dan a lot of your machine ya, jenteranya is internet facing, and you are afraid of cyber attack, and security is a concern, then yes, you will matangkan information security managementnya. Security incident managementnya. Matangkannya, mature it, because it is important. If other things are less important, tidak ada, there's no failure or the business is not very concerned about it, don't do it. Okay. If there are 34 different practices in ITIL, you do not need to implement all 34. You choose which is the one that is most important for your company, most important for your industry, right? Today, it might not be important. Tomorrow, it might be important. If tomorrow is important, you look to implement it, but there's no need to force. Yeah, ITIL do not force you to apply it, or do not force you to say you must have it. If not, you're very bad. No, you choose. Itu adalah pilihan bisnes, pilihan komiti ya, antara bisnes dan IT, apa yang harus dimatangkan, apa yang diimplementasi dan dimatangkan up to the level ya, that is necessary, yang dibutuhi ya, level yang dibutuhi. Yeah. So for me, ITIL digunakan across all industry, but how you implement berbeda. How much you implement berbeda. My observation, the number one area where you find, the number one industry where you find ITIL implementation is very strong is financial services. Is financial services. That's where I find that they spend a lot of money to make sure that the IT service is really implementasi dan pengelolaannya ya, the management of IT service ya, is really top compared to other industries. Okay, but it is required everywhere there is IT.
So do you mean if financial industry need to achieve let's say 30 level, manufacturing maybe only 10 and the other only 5, something like that?
It depends.
Yes.
Yeah,
it depends.
So let me give you an example. Before I was working in Sapiens, right? I was in Bank of America Merrill Lynch. Do they have practices that support ITSM? Yes. Are the practices very good? Yes. Do they have all the practices? No. Some of them are very immature. Kurang matangnya. There is no process, there's no documentation, but Is it important for the business? The business look at it, not so important. We don't want to have the process just because we want to tell people we have a process. No need, right? We are doing it as part of secara informal, but it's good enough for our business need. Okay, that's fine. No problem. Right? There is no need to do everything. You pick and choose what is important for you, for your company. Right?
Okay. So do you think IT technology need to make sure to be used first before ITIL can be implemented, or no need? I'm just comparing with the convention. I think some companies still do. I think only 20% using IT and 80% still conventional.
What is conventional? Apa
Traditional.
arti conventional? Apa arti traditional?
Manual.
Manual apa artinya? Pen dengan paper ya?
Yes, maybe something like that. Yeah.
Hah?
Yeah, the process still
Masih
manual. Yeah.
mesti menggunakan
Paper,
borang,
document, yeah.
borang isi borang yang ya, signature wet ink ya, wet ink signature begitu
yeah.
ya. Waduh. Okay. So do you need ITIL in that kind of situation? Maybe, maybe not, depending on how important the IT service is.
Okay.
I don't know. It's hard to say, but only the company knows if they need to organize themselves better, whether the business is happy or not happy. Only they know. I don't know. If the business is happy and they say, okay, that's fine, this is okay, we're doing okay, then you don't want to implement ITIL as something formal, it's okay. But if the business say, waduh, everything is slow, waduh, I want something and it take you 1 minggu ya sebelum saya mendapatnya ya, dan insidennya, waduh, kenapa ya? Ini perkara mudah ya, kenapa sampai begitu lama sekali ya? And they are not happy with it. They are not happy with the deliverable. Apa yang disampaikan ya, they are not happy with it. And you need to improve. Or it's inconsistent. Mungkin hari ini dibereskan dalam 2 jam. Dan hari esok kalau kerana handle by a different person, 2 days, 2 hari. Inconsistent. And they are not happy. That is when you may need a more structured way of working.
Okay, got it.
So cannot give blanket advice. I cannot give blanket advice, but without knowing, the nature of the company and the nature of business.
Yeah. Okay. But sebelum kita lanjutkan, mungkin kami berharap Bapak Ibu untuk tetap stay, karena nanti di akhir kita akan kita ada pembagian OVO vouchers. Harap bisa ikut sampai selesai, dan mungkin ini komunikasi kita akan makin ke belakang, makin deep ya. Jadi mungkin jadi kita akan pelan-pelan menuju ke diskusi yang lebih deep. Okay, so after they know about IT and the company is, but now how?
Okay. These are all very difficult questions to answer, but I will say, what is the ideal time to implement ITIL in a company? Apa artinya? When is it time to start, or when is it time to say you stop? Apa artinya pertanyaan ini?
Okay, I think if Bapak Ibu have this question, maybe you can explain it so you can have a good understanding. Mungkin Bapak Ibu yang kemarin sempat bertanya hal ini mungkin bisa bantu menjelaskan sehingga kita bisa mendapatkan penjelasan yang tepat ya.
Atau pertanyaannya is how long? Berapa lama ya yang harus saya mengimplementasi ITIL secara you know,
Pak
normally.
Franky, Pak Franky,
Ya,
kalau
Pak.
saya lihat ini bukan pertanyaan saya, tapi kalau saya lihat pertanyaan itu sebetulnya bukan ini mungkin ya, bukan how long, tapi ideal time itu apakah pada saat company itu startup, apakah pada saat
Oh.
company itu growth, apakah pada saat company
So, when
itu
ya, Pak, ya?
menurun.
When, ya?
Kelihatannya when, bukan how long. Itu aja sih Pak mungkin. Mungkin ya.
Yeah.
Okay.
You said before that when the IT process need this, so we do it. If
Yes.
that process no need, so we don't need. So when the right time that we need to implement.
Yeah. So the right time is when for me, I will always look at risk. When does IT become a risk for business? How important is IT to the business? Once the business becomes very, very important to use IT, and if IT fail, then the business cannot get a profit, atau cannot get revenue or cannot get business, then it's very important to start thinking of implementasi of ITIL. And if, let's say, for example, you have feedback, right, that layanannya kurang memuaskan, is a risk, then that's a good time to think about formalizing ITIL. Right? Normally, during startup, you have other problems. During startup, normally you're very small. Everybody is doing everything. I give you an example. Sapiens is a small company. We have 6 people. Very small. Do we use IT services? A lot. For our billing, for invoicing, for our finance, to coordinate classes, to arrange for meetings, and we use all sorts of different IT service. Some we have it in our own server, some we outsource. Do you think it is important for Sapiens to implement ITIL? We do not. There is no business benefit to Sapiens to implement ITIL. Do you know why? We don't have an IT department. IT is a shared responsibility. Everybody is doing IT. Everybody is doing delivery. Everybody is doing sales. So we are an example of a company that has startup mentality. Right now, our scale, our size is that small. ITIL bukan kebutuhan kami. It's not a priority. We have other things to worry about. But inshallah, when the company grows, 30 people, 40 people, 60 people, satu cabangan di mana ya? Di
Malaysia.
London, satu cabangan di New York, satu cabangan di Beijing, China. We have to really manage IT service very, very well. And we have hundreds of people working for us, right? Then maybe it's more necessary to manage IT because IT is needed for communication and for management. IT becomes very critical to be managed, and because of the size of the company, how big it is, then we want to formally implement ITIL. We have a separate IT department. But as a startup, not my objective.
Okay.
Not the benefit is not there. So only you know whether there is a requirement. But let me tell you something. I've worked with a company, not a company. It's actually NGO. NGO, NGO is a non government organization, not for profit. Dan mereka ini the service layanan yang mereka beri adalah volunteering. So mungkin kamu ada bakat, there's some kind of a skill set, and you want to give free service to other people. You want to give free support to people. Maybe you are pekebun, and you say, I have hari Sabtu saya free, mungkin saya boleh tolong rumah orang-orang tua, to take care of their garden on Saturday. And this company will be koordinasi ya. So they serve citizen, rakyat ya, rakyatnya. But their IT department 4 orang aja ya. 4 orang aja. Dan mereka implementasi ITSM. Tapi satu aja ya, incident management. Dan after a while ya, request management. That's it. That is enough for them. And they don't need any other things. Tidak dibutuhi. Ya. So, are they implementing ITIL? Yes. Tapi 2 aspek aja. Incident, kerana IT service-nya ya harus digunakan ya, penting untuk digunakan untuk matching. Ya, matching bakat dengan the resource and the work. Ya. So they are doing that, but they only do 2. See, but this is just an example. Suatu contoh.
Maybe I want to share one sample. Let's say a company want to make a mobile application for support the customers. So this is the company should have the application programmer, also have IT infra people, department also, and the company plan for it. They want to implement a mobile app application. So I think when is the good time for IT to implement ITIL? Is it when they want to start the project to implement, or when the application already go to the market and we see the problem inside, or when?
So let me ask you a question. What is the layanan IT that you're talking about? Apa layanan IT-nya? What is the service? Apa yang service-nya?
In the mobile apps is for, I think, for like, let's say to sell the product and get the feedback from the customer.
Okay, is it the product development, or is it, what is it? Are you also launching the product and supporting the product, or are you just creating the product and then customer gunakannya? What is it?
Oh, okay. I think
Beda,
is the one who creating, right?
Huh?
Oh, do you mean the creator company or
the user
company
company
who use?
Yes.
Oh,
which one?
They use it and implement by themselves.
If they use and implement by themselves, then you would need, kalau gunakan internal application development ya, in-house application development, then they are doing business analysis ya, then they are doing platform management, they are doing software development, they are doing deployment, deployment, and then they are doing also support, right? Then they are actually doing all the ITSM or ITIL practice, covering everything. But the question to us is this ya, berapa banyak kali ya mereka buat development? Setahun sekali atau 2 tahun sekali atau every day?
Okay.
Because when you have a process, when you have all these things, itu investment ya. You have to invest time and all that. You don't want to create a process when you are going to use it only setahun sekali ya. Why? But if your business is doing application development, then okay. Kalau bisnesnya hari demi hari ya buat application development, mungkin ada 10 customer-nya atau 12 customer, 13 customer, then everybody do different team do application development, then you might want to have a process yang digunakan untuk semuanya. And then ITIL membantu. Ya. But if you're using sekali, what's the point? Tidak, tidak logik ya, tidak masuk akal ya untuk invest formal proses untuk sesuatu yang digunakan
one time.
one time only. Kerana bila proses itu sudah siap ya, mungkin tahun depan kita buat application development yang baru, teknologinya berbeza dan prosesnya tidak boleh digunakan lagi, harus proses yang prosesnya mungkin diperbaharui atau update ya. Update dalam bahasa Indonesia apa ya? Update.
Perbaharui. Yeah.
Diperbaharui, ya.
Okay.
See, so it depends. It depends. It is important for us not to implement ITIL because we want to implement ITIL. It is important for us to implement ITIL because it is required. It is necessary. ITIL is not the objective.
Okay.
Business is the objective. Dan ITIL adalah vehicle ya, kenderaan ya, for achieving business objective. Is the tool, peralatan untuk pencapaian objektif perusahaannya. Bukan, you should not say, oh, I implement ITIL. People ask, so what? What do you get after you implement ITIL? Oh, I can achieve this service level and business dapat keuntungan yang lebih. Okay, baik. Tapi if you implement ITIL kerana bank itu ya gunakan ITIL, kita pun harus gunakan ITIL. Oh, perusahaan itu gunakan ITIL kita. Itu motivasinya sudah salah. Ya.
Okay. So when we want to start to implement ITIL, are we need to make a budgeting?
Yes.
And collect the resources to handle it, something like that?
Yes. Let me also say that ITIL is not a project. ITIL is a program. ITIL development is forever. There is nothing to say that ITIL finish. Kita sudah tamat ya. Finish. We are done. ITIL selalu, your process harus diperbaharui. Your additional process, proses baru yang diterapkan di dalam praktisnya ya. Dan mungkin ada proses yang tidak guna yang harus diistirahat mungkin ya. So you have to, it's ITSM will exist for as long as your implementation of ITSM exists. In fact, in a lot of companies perusahaan yang besar-besar ya, yang sudah cukup matang ya, mungkin mereka adakan ini ya, SMO ya, Service Management Office, where they centralize ya, mungkin proses-prosesnya, guidelines-nya, standards-nya, mereka ya, they have a process owner that is of semua proses-proses yang digunakan di dalam perusahaannya secara keseluruhan ya. They doing measurement, KPIs dan sebagainya.
Okay.
So it's not a project, it is a program. Must you cost it? Yes. You must cost it. And how do you cost it? It depends on what you want to achieve. Right? Can you implement ITIL dengan budget yang mungkin modest? Boleh. Mungkin there are many solution now ya. Cloud solution untuk ITSM tool dan not expensive. Tak mahal ya. Peralatan seperti Hello ITSM, peralatan seperti ServiceNow ya, tools ya, seperti HPSM mungkin sedikit mahal ya, but you have cloud solution that based on the number of licenses, and then you don't have to install and manage the tool yourself. Yeah. So, must you budget? Of course. Let me tell you where the budget is. The budget is process engineering, training of staff. Training of staff, yeah. So, what do I mean by training of staff? Does it mean train in ITIL? Yes, but not enough. So, in your, let's say in your proses ya, mungkin kita gunakan contoh seperti incident management kerana yang mudah difahami ya. Incident management, mungkin aktivitas dalam prosesnya diagnosis, ya, diagnose. ITIL proses kata diagnose, tapi kemahiran untuk diagnosis bagaimana? Itu terserah kepada individu-individu ya. If I am very skilled, very good, diagnosisnya pendek, jangka masanya pendek ya. If I'm not skilled, then it take a long time. Masanya, you know, so you still need to train people not only for ITIL, but you need to provide training of people to perform their work. Ini disebutkan sebagai kompetensi, kemahiran. Ya. Contohnya, ITIL mungkin memberi kamu resepi. Ya, saya kalau kamu memberi saya resepi ya, saya lihat, oh ya saya faham ya, resepinya bagus sekali. Ya, tapi kalau istri saya kata ya, masak ya. No competency. Tidak ada kemahiran langsung. Ya, goreng telur pun tidak bulat. Semuanya scramble aja ya. Ya, because resepinya baik mungkin ya, mengikut ITIL prosesnya resepinya baik ya, number one. Tetapi skill ya untuk execute the recipe mungkin kurang, skill setnya kurang ya. So investment cost-nya ke sana ya. Tools ya, untuk ticketing tool dan monitoring tool ya. All this harus di budget ya, harus diperakira ya. Dan mungkin mengikut kebutuhannya ya. Mungkin quarter 1 apa yang kita butuhi ya. Quarter 2 apa yang kita butuhi. Tidak harus belanjanya semua secara one time sekaligus ya. Tidak itu idea yang kurang baik ya. Harus diimplementasi slowly. Kerana ITSM implementation is for life. It's a program. It is not a project.
Okay. So because this program is not only for one or two person in just in IT, but in the group of IT.
Yes, this is where the biggest change when you implementasi ITIL, the biggest change is mindset, budaya. Budaya bekerja secara ad hoc ya. Tukar kepada budaya bekerja secara sistematik. Ya. It is culture change. A change in mindset, a change in culture. And the hardest thing to change. What is the hardest thing to change? Pak Frankie boleh?
Habit.
Yeah. The hardest thing to change is people. That's the hardest thing to change. And the mindset of the people. Proses mudah saja ya, diagramnya tukar ya, flow-nya tukar. Okey, dalam 2-3 hari ya siap. Ya. Tapi people, that is the hardest. That is the biggest investment you can make. You can have the best process, but if your people are not ready, the process will fail. The most
Yes.
important investment is the people, number one.
Yeah, it's difficult to make people still on the track in implementation.
Yeah, correct. You look at
because this should be continuously that.
you look at things like sekarang pandemic ya. You look at the pandemic. You can have a lot of vaccine, you can have a lot of doctors, tapi kalau people don't listen, tidak mau ubah fikiran, tidak mau ikut arahan, you will fail. Simple as that. That's a perfect example. In some countries, it's like that. You look at America. They have enough vaccine. They have enough doctors. They have enough. They are paying people. Please get vaccine. I give you voucher. Please vaccine. Come. Every time you get voucher, I give you $50 to get vaccine. That is a culture failure, mindset failure. Okay. Example. Okay, sorry, I don't want to be politic, so I move. Okay, let's move. Success metric. Are we on time, Pak Frankie? Am I talking too much? Pak Frankie, are we okay? Time-nya okay? Timing-nya okay?
Yes.
Okay, maybe we can do one or two more, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, success metrics for implementing ITIL in the company. What is the success metric for implementing ITIL in the company? Okay, again, very important again. Wrong question. Pertanyaan yang salah. The first question is not what is the success metric. This is the wrong question. The right question is what is success? Konteks perusahaannya. Apa itu sukses? Is success better customer satisfaction? Kepuasan customer-nya ya? Is success able to become more agile? Is success lower cost? What is success? Apa arti sukses? That is the first question. And no two company will have the same definition of success. Because they have two different, maybe different objectives. Okay? So the first question is, what is success to my company? Right? And then based on that, you build the success metric. Okay? Of course, most of the people will only be concerned about their process. Ya. Karena pekerjaan saya change management, jadi saya pikirkan change management saja. Pekerjaan saya incident management, saya pikirkan incident management saja. Pekerjaan saya release management, saya pikirkan release management saya. This is the wrong thinking. This is process thinking. But you should think value to your customer. Ya, secara keseluruhan, what do they want you to do? What do they expect IT to do? That is the first question is what is success? And then based on that definition, you will build the right success metric. Okay. Normally, when the business, when they look at what is success, they will always look at a few things. Is risk better managed? Is cost optimized? Optimum ya, cost-nya. Dan did I get benefit or not? Apa yang boleh saya lakukan sekarang yang saya tidak bisa lakukan tahun lepas? What can I do today? Can I achieve $1 million or $1 million US or $1 million in additional revenue because of IT? Okay. Is my risk lower now because of IT? Okay. So this is the business, how business look at how successful IT is. Tetapi kalau saya pikirkan untuk proses saja ya, ada proses metrik juga, seperti change failure rate, seperti incident resolution rate, seperti deployment speed, ya, itu pun metrik-metrik yang fokus on proses. Tetapi secara keseluruhannya, as a whole, you should be looking at metric of IT secara keseluruhan, bukan proses ya, tapi IT. Dan bagaimana IT membantu atau menolong bisnesnya untuk mencapai business objective. Okay. To me, the metric you can choose. So many different metric, but the first question is, what should I measure? What is important? And that you can only answer if you ask the business.
Okay.
Sorry, I know I didn't answer the question because this is an impossible question to answer without understanding the business. It's impossible to answer. You must know the business first.
Yes.
Yeah.
So is there any tools to measure it?
Of course, there can be a lot of tools to help to measure success of your IT service, success of IT, success of processes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sure, 100%. There are many, too many to mention.
Is there any like I saw there is an organization who make a standard for the company to be achieved. How about ITIL? Is there any organization or body who can menilai that the company already achieved or in the good of ITIL implementations?
Yeah. Normally, when you look at ITSM implementation, okay, when you look at implementation of ITSM and pengukurannya ya, selalu berunsurkan maturity model. Maturity model. In ITIL V3, Excelos release an Excelos maturity model. But in ITIL 4, they have not released a maturity model. Okay, because in my view, it's a bit difficult to also measure maturity in ITIL 4. But if you want to measure process maturity, you can. The most common way to measure maturity, and a lot of companies do that, is using CMMI. CMMI atau Capability Maturity Model Integration. Ya, so there are ada seperti checklist ya, yang menilaikan kematangan. Is it correct word, kematangan? Maturity?
Yes, yes.
Kematangan prosesnya. Level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5 ya. Level 1 ad hoc, level 2 perform, level 3 manage, level 4 what's level 4? Can't remember. And level 5 is optimized. Yeah. So 5 levels, right? And does it have the characteristic of the different levels? Okay. Itu yang CMMI. Ya, yang quite popular. CMMI also is used in other framework seperti COBIT, right? COBIT also use CMMI model to assess maturity. So it's quite a common model to assess process maturity, right? But I will say this also, yeah. This is my opinion. Higher level does not mean better level. I repeat, the higher the level doesn't mean the better it is. It doesn't. Okay. Whether a process is at the correct level or not, only you know. Nobody else know. Okay. You know, is when you want to increase maturity of a process, the higher up you want to go, from level 3 to level 4, from level 4 to level 5, seperti mendaki gunung ya. The first part is easy, but when you want to go higher and higher sampai ke puncaknya ya, it becomes very difficult, very painful. You cannot breathe. Setiap tapak seperti running a marathon. Ya, it's very difficult. The investment ya, how much money you have to spend becomes very great if you move from level 3 hingga level 4. Mungkin harus belanja 10, 20, 30 juta ya to improve your process, to improve your tools, to improve ya. Maybe there's no need. Maybe for your business is enough to be level 1 or level 2. There's no need to be level 3. There is no justifikasi ya. Justifikasi bisnis untuk naikkan the level maturity-nya. Tidak dibutuhi langsung. No point. Right?
Okay.
So is there a maturity level? The answer is yes. And that you can measure with CMMI is one technique to measure maturity, but it may not be necessary to be as high maturity as the higher doesn't mean the better.
Okay. Thank you, Faisal. I think we talk a lot. Maybe I want to ask the audience.
Okay, good.
Apakah Bapak
Saya
Ibu
boleh rehat.
ada yang mau disampaikan sebelum kita ini udah mau terakhir. Tapi mungkin Bapak Ibu punya hal dari awal sampai saat ini, kira-kira ada hal yang masih nyangkut di pikiran Bapak Ibu atau mungkin ada hal yang ingin Bapak sampaikan. Silakan, bisa open mic. Jangan khawatir, ini nggak ada penilaian. Oke, kalau nggak ada nanti kita berarti kita akan lanjutkan pembahasannya beberapa pertanyaan yang ada di sini. Sambil nanti mungkin Faisal mau menjelaskan beberapa hal ya setelah ini.
Ya.
Ya.
Oke.
Ada nggak? Ada? Kalau
Paling saya mau sharing aja, Pak Franky.
iya, silakan.
Saya udah pernah kerja di beberapa jenis industri ya, mulai manufaktur, retail, IT konsultan ya, IT konsultan. Kemudian sekarang di sektor keuangan non-bank ya. Itu kalau saya lihat sih memang harusnya ITIL itu seamless dalam arti ini perusahaan ini sudah mempraktekkan ITIL bla bla, harusnya seamless dan itu sudah seperti Faisal bilang itu harusnya itu sudah merupakan suatu culture sebetulnya. Suatu culture di mana juga akan terimplementasi di SOP gitu ya. Karena kalau saya lihat di aplikasi hanya saya merasa itu di sisi aplikasi helpdesk. Aplikasi helpdesk itu yang di mana ada ticketing ya. Itu ada ticketing, itu tadi ada incident management, ada problem management, release management dan seterusnya gitu. Tapi belum terlihat juga mungkin harusnya kan tersebar sampai seluruh departemen gitu ya. Satu perusahaan culture suatu perusahaan itu bukan hanya ada di aplikasi aja gitu, aplikasi helpdesk ticketing gitu ya. Aplikasi ticketing gitu. Di pengalaman saya seperti itu memang hanya terasanya di IT sebagai IT katalog gitu ya, IT service katalog. Nah, jadi seperti itu sih. Harusnya memang udah betul tersebar itu di seluruh culture perusahaan. Itu aja sih Pak.
Iya. So jadi menjelaskan pengalamannya, misal sharing the experience.
Okay.
So itu yang tadi kita bicarakan di awal bahwa kadang kita sebenarnya tidak sadar sudah menggunakan bagian-bagian dari ITIL, tapi pada kenyataannya itu beberapa orang itu nggak aware. tentang bahwa sebenarnya itu ATIL loh. Ya. So, ini pertanyaannya bagaimana membuat supaya penerapan itu bisa, how to make the implementation itu can be aware by the organizations, and
Betul,
how
Pak
to
Franky.
make the culture.
Iya.
Betul ya. Bagaimana membuat perusahaan sadar bahwa itu memang ATIL dan itu diimplementasi di semua area, Pak ya.
Karena cenderungnya di perusahaan-perusahaan di Indonesia itu hanya terasanya itu di departemen-departemen supporting gitu. Seperti IT infrastruktur, kemudian mungkin GA, kemudian HRD, legal, dan jadi lebih terasanya itu hanya di supporting departemen gitu.
Support aja gitu
Iya,
ya,
iya.
Pak.
Iya.
Okay, do you have any experience, Rizal, that can be related?
No, I think what he says is correct, and the main reason why it is that way is because help desk ya dan service desk atau help desk yang menangani insiden atau menangani request ya seperti itu, they are the most visible. Dan semua 99% implementasi ITIL bermula dengan incident management, bermula dengan service desk atau help desk. Itu permulaannya ya. Kerana keuntungan daripada investment ya yang dibuat is most easily justifiable. Very clear. Sebelum implementasi helpdesk dan insiden atau request, mungkin penggunanya unhappy ya, kurang puas dengan layanan yang diberi. Dan setelah implementasi, mereka happier lah ya, mereka lebih senang dengan IT. Dan isunya ya, IT management fail to expand aplikasi of ITIL practice to other areas. Most of the time mereka bermula dengan incident, service request, ya, mungkin change, mungkin configuration management dan service level berhenti. Most of the time begitu ya. Oh, this is enough. Right? Kalau di capacity atau availability ya mungkin dilakukan tapi secara informal ya. Dan kalau business continuity, kalau industri kewangan ya di bank, wah itu harus ya, mesti wajib ya, kerana regulatornya seperti Bank Indonesia mandate ya, kamu harus ada nih. Kalau tidak, saya tidak akan memberikan kamu banking license. Ya, you must fit the technology risk management framework of Bank Indonesia. So you must have that. So they may have a business continuity management process. So I agree with him that most of the time implementasinya 3-4 area aja dan berhenti di sana kerana mungkin budgetary issue, mungkin business tidak value ya implementasi in other areas. But it doesn't mean it should not be done. It doesn't mean that other people cannot benefit from ITIL practices, because all these other areas are important for good IT service as well. Right? So how do you improve the awareness? This is awareness ya. Apa ni? So maybe IT have to do marketingnya. Have to do marketing. Have to do advertisement, promotion, roadshow. Explain to business, join team meetings, a business team meeting, explain IT, this is what we do for you. Ya, mungkin it require investment, it requires time, It requires effort. It requires skill. Ya, to do that. Right? Ini seperti advertisement ya, marketing ya, pemasaran IT ya, to your internal users. To raise the awareness. Because I believe a good service provider seperti IT ya, a good service provider deserve a good customer. And a good customer deserve a good service provider. It's important, and we need to do more of the seperti outreach ya, seperti marketing and all that, roadshow seperti itu ya, to explain IT dan nilai IT, the value of IT to their work. But I agree, it is a culture change. I agree, a big thing, budayanya tidak serap kepada the entire organization.
Yeah. Faisal, by the way, could you give a sample outside those 5 process area that ATL has implemented? Maybe about
No.
the other.
There are many process area, but based on my experience, the ones that get implemented first, secara formal, ya, ini 5 ya. Incident, problem, change, configuration, service level management. Okay, and below supported by monitoring, event management. Untuk buat monitoring ya, event management. So those are the 5 or 6 that are normally implemented. Dan kalau kamu perhatikan ya, itu mostly operational ya, operational, pekerjaan yang operational hari demi hari ya. Bukan strategic. Kalau strategic, proses seperti financial management. Ya, itu more strategic in nature. Tapi the focus is still very much operational lah. Pada saya not so good lah. Should be IT should be more than that. IT should be part of the business. Very operational, yeah.
Okay, do you want to expand in this slide?
Yeah, so maybe let's take this as the last one because I'm looking at the time.
Yeah.
It's almost.
Yeah.
Can we handle this one as the last question? Then, if there are any other questions, maybe we can give the answers and our opinion seperti FAQ gitu.
Okay.
Yeah. So, how to implement change enablement process in a company that apply DevOps and SRE concept? Okay, very good question. So DevOps is a methodology yang baru, a mindset change, is a movement, a new movement. SRE is also something that is popularized by Google, right? In 2005, I think they start. 2005, something like that, yeah. And SRE practices now become more and more common. The common thing between DevOps and SRE is agile. It works in a more agile, it supports agile thinking, okay, agile thinking. The biggest thing that you can do when it talks about change enablement is to re-engineer the processes that you have. Sekarang proses kita ya seperti waterfall process. Terlalu banyak bottleneck. Terlalu banyak approval dan authorization. When you have too many approval and authorization, you slow things down. The business application is working agile, tetapi operation team still working in traditional way. Umpamanya, contohnya seperti gini, gambarkan ya. Development dansanya disco, operation dansanya cha-cha. Kalau business lihat, business juga, what is this nonsense? Not nice at all, right? Because mereka not in sync. Okay, the important thing is the change enablement process has to become more agile. Gunakan lean methodology untuk streamline change enablement. Gunakan otomasi sebanyak mungkin to streamline change enablement. And the third thing which I can give suggestion and perhaps is the most important, decentralized authorization. Sekarang IT bekerja seperti centralized authorization. Semua ke apa ya dikatakan disebutkan di CAP ya, CAP. Change Advisory Board, CAP. Ya. CAP mereka semua ada change request, mereka bincang ya, then authorize dan seminggu sekali. 1 week once. Too slow. What we can do is we restructure our processes, we restructure our organization to make it decentralized. We don't need 20-30 orang untuk tanda tangan ya, to authorize, tidak butuhi. Ya. We decentralize only to one business and one IT. That's it, finish. And then it move forward. Okay. So the biggest thing you can help is make your change enablement process lean and agile by going through mapping, value stream, and remove waste. Right? Going through lean philosophy, lean approach towards change enablement, gunakan otomasi, and the third thing is decentralized approval. No need to go to a central body to get approval. You decentralize. Those that are close to the change, business affected by the change, they approve. And they approve very, very quickly. Don't need to wait once a week. Bila kapan yang butuh di authorization, mereka convene, approve, that's it, go ahead. And as much as possible, one other thing I can give you is increase the number of standardized change. That means pre-authorized change, right? You increase. Right now, maybe you have 10 to 20 standard change, right? Increase that to 30 to 40. That means the organization have to accept more risk. Bukan term ya Allah. Bukan term. Terima risiko yang lebih. Ya, you must accept more risk. I put lebih ya because it may not really be more risk. But people think slower means less risky, but doesn't mean so. Okay. So in DevOps course, in SRE course, right? In Agile Service Management course, we talk about how to make the way you work faster. Because everything is more agile, but IT is still very slow. Development is agile, but IT still work in very a traditional way. I think that's, of course, something is not right. Yeah, they should be very tight. Yeah, the jalin. Yeah, very very tight together. It should not be like that. One is like this, the other one is like that. It should be like that, very close together. Development and operation. Okay. And the last question, application of ITIL to agile methodology. Of course, agile methodology diterapkan di dalam ITIL 4. It's part of ITIL 4. Okay. It's part of the ITIL model that we call service value system. It's part of it. Agile is built into the new framework. Okay, so for those of you who have not been certified in ITIL 4 and you don't know what the new framework looks like, go and find out, right? Because then you will see how the new framework is incorporate agile methodology. Okay, Pak Frankie.
Yes, there is a question in chat box about capability maturity model integrations.
Sudah,
CMMI.
I saw. I think he asked what is CMMI. CMMI is capability maturity model integration. Oh, he's asking again, is it?
Yeah, what it is, I think. What it is.
Oh, what it is. Okay, capability maturity model integration is a methodology untuk assess ya. What's the word for assess? Menilaikan ya. Menilaikan kematangan proses. Yeah. And in the CMMI, there are various levels, level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of a process. There are some requirements. There are some feature of a level 1 process. There's some features of a level 2 process. For example, is your process defined? Is your process managed? Is your process optimized? There are some characteristic of those. So when you check your process, whether it fulfills the characteristic, you know whether your process is at level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, or level 5. So why did I write this down? I write this down because somebody asked how to measure maturity. This is one way. You either use a maturity model like CMMI, or there might be other maturity models, right? But for me, one of the more famous maturity models is CMMI. Okay. And actually a lot of the other maturity model, when you read the other people, when they have other maturity model, when you read what they have, you look and you say, look a lot like CMMI. CMMI is like the godfather of maturity model. It's like the grandfather, the start of when people talk about maturity.
Okay, thank you for your explanation, Faisal.
You're welcome.
Semoga menjawab ya Pak ya. Okay, you want to explain something after this?
No,
I saw that.
Go ahead, Frankie.
Okay, ada lagi yang ditanyakan Bapak Ibu? Jadi kalau dilihat memang hari ini komunikasinya masih apa ya? Pertanyaannya masih belum cukup banyak yang belum bahas case-case ya. Pertanyaannya masih general, basic pada saat implementasi. Oke, mungkin tadi Faisal sempat menjelaskan mengenai selain mempersiapkan planning untuk sana, ya kita mesti mempersiapkan people. Nah, salah satu untuk membuat awareness itu atau membuat program ini bisa continuously adalah salah satu kompetensi ya, berarti knowledge. Ya mungkin ini kita sharing terkait dengan learning path untuk ATAL. Jadi ini knowledge yang memang mulai dari basic itu basic is just awareness, right? Basic ATL foundation talking about what is ATL or only what ATL.
What is
ATL foundation track course is learning about the objective. What is the objective of ATL foundation?
Okay, so the basics of ITL foundation is to understand or learn a few things. ITIL guiding principle. Apanya prinsip ITIL 4. Prinsip ITIL 4 ya. Then we learn about the ITIL framework. The framework disebutkan sebagai service value system. Right? Di dalam service value system itu ada service value chain dan the 4 dimensions of service management. So service value system is kira framework yang high level dan kita lihat di dalamnya what's inside. And what's inside is the service value chain as well as the 4 dimensions of service management. Frankie, I think, yeah, can you move to the last slide maybe? Or the second last slide? So at least they can see what it, so this is the service value system, right? In the service value system, you have the service value chain. We will be talking about the guiding principles. You hit next.
Great.
Okay, keep going. Yeah, talk about the guiding principles. You talk about governance. Apa itu governance ya, tata kelola, and how ITIL help with governance. You talk about ITIL practices and how practice support your value, and you talk about continual improvement, right? And all this is the framework, service value system. It looks simple, but it's actually quite complicated because you can look inside the service value chain. So if you move to the next slide, inside the service value chain, inside it, yeah, then you will look at the value chain activities. These are the things that's inside of the value chain activities. You can see there are activities like planning, engaging, design and transition, obtain, build, deliver and support, improve. All these is part of your ITIL4 framework, right? So we'll be talking about the service value system, we'll be talking about the service value chain, and then we'll talk about another concept called the 4 dimensions of service management. This is a new way of thinking about how to work in IT. A new way of thinking, actually not so new, maybe new to you, but this is not a new way, new for many organizations, right? But I think it is new for many people, right? And another part of the course is talking about the more common ITIL practice. So we'll be covering, I think, about 12 or 13 different practice, like service level management, relationship management, information security management, incident management, problem management, what else? Deployment management, release management, continual improvement. So we will be talking about all these other practice, but we'll be talking about them at a high level. 2 or 3 of them we'll be spending a lot of time to discuss. But for some of them, we'll discuss at a high level, right? Because it is just a 3-day course. This is seperti apa, introduction ya, foundation, the basic understanding of ITIL4, right? Okay. So a lot of information, a lot of new ideas is going to be shared in that 3-day course. Okay. By the way, Frankie, just to let you know, quite a number of people choose to deliver ITIL4 as a 2-day course. But at Sapiens, you know about this, right? At Sapiens, we believe in running this as a 3-day course because we believe it is important that we have discussions. It is important that people learn slowly because this idea is new to them. When the idea is new, you need time to adjust your thinking. So we added an additional day so that, you know, it's pacingnya ya lebih sesuai ya, lebih cocok. Yeah. If not, if you learn too fast, it's rush, and sometimes people cannot absorb, cannot understand. Because it takes time. It's new. It's a different way of thinking. Okay.
Oke. Bapak Ibu, mungkin ada pertanyaan, silakan ditaruh di chat box. Ya mungkin hari ini kita udah jalanin, kita udah mulai untuk coba lakukan event ini. Jadi dulu kita sempat lakukan 1 kali, ini kita yang kedua kali, nanti kita akan lakukan lagi. Jadi mungkin Bapak Ibu bisa nanti di next event bisa mengundang rekan-rekan related yang mungkin yang belum paham atau yang udah pada saat mungkin satu tim pada saat implementasi ternyata kita punya membutuhkan mempunyai pertanyaan yang sama dan membutuhkan jawaban. Jadi nextnya mungkin kita bisa lakukan lagi. Oke. Mungkin Faisal ada yang mau ditambahkan?
Udahlah, udah cukup saya.
Coba. Ya, teman-teman, rekan-rekan, Bapak Ibu, ada yang ingin disampaikan? Kalau nggak ada, mungkin terima kasih sudah mengikuti event ini dari awal hingga akhir. Mohon nanti ada feedback yang akan di-share oleh Sultana di chat box. Nanti silakan diisi. Ya kan, nanti untuk mendapatkan nanti kita sediakan ada OVO voucher. Ya, ada kasih. Oke, sebelum kita akhiri event ini, pertemuan ini, diskusi ini, ya mungkin kita bisa open cam semuanya. Ya, kita bisa open cam semuanya. Iya. Yang lain? Sip. Mungkin Sultana bisa bantu ini untuk coordinate.
Oke, mungkin bisa prepare dulu open cam semua.
Let me know if I do. Do you have any questions? Let's start it. Let's do the final poll then.
Oke,
How often do it?
saya hitung ya. 1, 2, 3.
Oke.
Sekali lagi.
Satu lagi, kita gaya bebas ya Pak ya. Biasanya kalau kita cam ini gaya formal kayak pas foto. Oke, kita gaya bebas ya.
I really recommend that because I guarantee you'll manually do that kind of job.
Oke, 1, 2, 3. Oke, terima kasih semuanya.
Oke, terima kasih Bapak Ibu atas waktunya. Ya, semoga kita bisa ketemu lagi. Mohon diisi feedback-nya, nanti kita akan umumkan atau kita akan kontak ke teman-teman yang beruntung. Ya, jika ada pertanyaan atau misal kebutuhan terkait dengan apa sih event berikutnya, silakan disampaikan di feedback. Ya, semoga nanti dari event ini kita bisa berlanjut ke event-event berikutnya, sehingga kita bisa ngobrol lebih banyak dan membahas lebih jauh tentang ATAL. Ya. Oke, terima kasih semuanya. Sampai ketemu. Thank you, Faisal.
Thank you
Yeah.
all. Terima kasih.
Yeah,
Have
we
a
wish you
good
come to
weekend.
Indonesia. Hope
Inshallah.
this pandemic goodbye.
Thank you Pak Franklin, thank you Pak Faisal.
Ya, terima kasih Pak.
Thank you.
Ya, semua sehat-sehat.
Ya, Pak.
How about another country, Faisal? Are you still visiting them or still do
Not yet.
virtual?
But I think very soon, maybe by the end of the year, probably I think maybe they will relax for Australia, New Zealand maybe, because right now for Brunei is open, for Germany is open, so no need to stay, no need to quarantine, you can just go and eat. But I'm still waiting for. I think Indonesia is still very bad. In Malaysia also still very bad. Yeah, so it will take a while.
In Singapore, you can go anywhere.
Yeah, can, but mask and must check in and check out and all this kind of thing. Yeah, for contact tracing. Yeah.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
Okay, Frankie, thank you very much. Have a good weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Faisal.
Bye bye.